Good afternoon. You know, I taught 6th and 7th grade before I ran, and the one time you never wanted to teach was right after lunch. It's good to see everyone today. We're having a good day? Yeah. This is really important, what you're doing. Very, very important to the community and to what I do. My 6th grade teacher, 6th grade social studies teacher, Mr. Bradford, was a very wealthy man, and he was young. And his kids were like, how are you, teacher, how are you so rich? He drove a beautiful car, and you know, when you're in 6th grade, you don't have many filters. So you just say, how do you have all these nice clothes? How are you so rich? And Mr. Bradford told us that his great-grandfather invented whatever the latest generation at the time, I think about 100 years ago, of the sticky stuff that make refrigerator doors, like close when you want it to close, but you're able to open it when you want to open it. And he taught us, when you look around you, anything you see is a product. And that product was developed in someone's mind at some point. And what I've learned since then is through strategy and execution, a lot of hard work, sometimes a lot of defeats, learning from your failures, you can turn that idea into something that creates value for everyone. I'm now in a position where trying to fund the police, paramedics, fundamental, public safety services that we provide to you, libraries, parks, and my colleagues at the state and federal government, providing schools, health, roads, things like that. Everything we do becomes easier when more people are employed and those job opportunities get a little bit better. And that doesn't happen without you in this room being entrepreneurs. That doesn't happen without you in the room being entrepreneurs. I go to too many conferences now, and when you go to conferences outside the county and outside the state, you get a sense of how much, as Thomas Friedman once said, the world is flat. How much we're all in competition. And what's very clear now is it's a competition not just in this country, but across the world. And those places that are winning, those counties, cities, states, countries that are winning, are those that develop the more advanced entrepreneurial ecosystem, those that can attract innovative minds, those that are able to develop and train innovative minds and make sure that innovators, entrepreneurs, that individual who has that idea, hey, maybe I know some better sticky stuff for the refrigerator, when they think that, they're able to not just think that, but there's a supportive network to develop that into an actual product that becomes something that people around the world can make use of. We're very fortunate. I'm so fortunate to have Tamara Morris, my head of economic development here, who's working tirelessly to make Newcastle County the most innovative county in the country. So please, Tamara, raise your hand if you ever have ideas on things we can do to innovate just a little bit better in the county, either in government or outside of government. We are all ears. Also, Bob Chadwick and Dora Cheatham have been, and everyone at the Chamber, the Emerging Enterprise Center, have been extraordinary partners in making that happen. I see Frank here as well, who's worked for decades on these same issues, so that's appreciated. I know I'm preaching to the choir here in this room. Today, so one thing, when I came into office, I said, listen, what government officials like me usually do and spend a lot of time doing is putting together $1 million funds to try to attract companies from outside the state, outside the county, to get here. And that's important. But studies time and again show that Kauffman Foundation did a real good one 3 or 4 years ago that shows that if you really want to create jobs for the long term, you got to do it by starting at home. You got to do it by finding small businesses in your county, in your state, and figuring out how to help them to employ 1 or 2 or 3 more people, to expand their market a little bit outside of your borders. And also, how do you make this, as I said, a fertile ground for people to start new companies? And so Tamara and I put our heads together, tried to think a little bit about how we can do that. I was adamant that I didn't want any government officials picking individual companies. I worked in the private sector for a while, and I know that there's a science, an imperfect science, that VCs use to try to figure out what the best companies are. And invariably, if you put government officials in that using your tax money, I don't think anybody wants that. So what we decided is let's find the people across the county who are doing a good job of this, who are selecting the finest entrepreneurs, and let's give them a little more capital, non-dilutive capital, so we can help these companies to grow. And that gave birth to what we're announcing today, the first annual Entrepreneurial Sponsorship Award, in partnership with the County Chamber of Commerce and the Emerging Enterprise Center. There were a whole bunch of applications that came in. If you won, you can give me credit. If you didn't win, don't blame me. I had nothing to do with the selection. But the innovation going on right here in Newcastle County is absolutely extraordinary. I give homework. We have bi-weekly cabinet meetings for my appointees, and I give homework every 2 weeks to my appointees, where on Thursday or Friday, I give something to read or something to watch over the weekend, then we discuss it on Monday. And I decided last week I wanted to send out a TED Talk. And I was looking at TED Talks about innovation in government and things like that. And the TED Talk I happened to be watching, they were talking about the amazing innovation going on right here in the US. In fact, and this is a national TED Talk at the University of Delaware, they talked about how they're developing the screens that go into iPhones, a lot of the technology behind the screens, and it's something you don't often hear about or talk about. So thank you to all the entrepreneurs who submitted applications. With the two finalists, SOS Nanotechnologies and D150 Fueling, please stand up. It's not easy to be an entrepreneur. A lot of people in this room know that. Give them a round of applause. So thanks, guys. You know, just a year ago, Sam Bacharach, Amadeo DeLuca, and Bailey O'Brien were University of Delaware undergrad students. Now one of the three you still is. And they had the next great idea to take cloud-based technology. Where I am, everybody's talking about the cloud and blockchain and the incredible value it's going to create. And there are entrepreneurs out there thinking, how do we take this and turn it into a business model for tomorrow? And they're doing just that. How many of you guys know D150 Fueling and what they do? Great. So we're teaching here as well. What they're doing, and I'll give you guys a chance to say a few words, but what they do is they use cloud-based technology and the latest analytics and logistics software to deliver fuel in a more efficient way. It's kind of cloud-based technology meets your local Exxon or Wawa. They very intelligently pivoted very quickly from looking at sort of consumer retail delivery of fuel to commercial, because the margins they saw quickly were higher. And they put their idea into action. They've already secured $300 grand of funding. Is that right? Yeah. And they're projecting, what, $2.5 million of?
3.5 now.
3.5, so it's gone up since I was briefed 3 weeks ago. They're now up to 3, maybe by the end of the speech it'll be at 4, right, if I keep talking. But they got 3.5 million of, they're projecting 3.5 million of revenue in their first year of business. So before I bring that up, let's give a round of applause to our second place the finalist, second place, SAS Nanotechnologies. Thank you very much. And why don't you three guys come on up from D150 Fueling. Come on up, guys.
Okay.
Come on up, Tamara. It's your idea, this whole thing. So why don't you guys, congratulations, and why don't you guys tell us a few words about what you do,
Thank you.
How you did it, and any advice you have to the other entrepreneurs out there.
Yeah, go ahead, Bailey. Hello, everybody. We're D150 Fueling here. So for those of you that don't know us, so what we do is we're an on-site fleet fueling company. So you're probably like, all right, what does that kind of mean? So what we do is we have fuel trucks. We run 2,800-gallon fuel trucks. It's not the big semi you see barreling down the highway, maybe coming into your lane or whatnot. We're in kind of straight trucks. They're like 25-foot trucks or so. And we bring these trucks to company sites at night, commercial fleets. We fill all their vehicles. That way your employees show up in the morning. You get in your vehicle. You're ready to go and ready to hit the job. So, and kind of the big thing that we bring to companies is the savings in labor, especially with new electronic logs coming about. Now hours of service are really being watched for drivers. So we try to make it so companies' drivers are on the road, producing revenue for that company and not sitting at a fueling station for a half hour. And then we can also offer cheaper prices than the fueling station directly because we get our fuel straight from the refinery and are going straight to the customers. So that's just a little bit about our business. And actually, on a side note, on the brouhaha note, we actually take almost every meeting we do with people, we go to brouhaha. So, you know, but yeah, it's just kind of the basis of our company, and you know, we want to thank everyone involved. You know, it's been a long time coming, but we're excited now that we're starting to fuel and get things running, and we're looking forward for the future. So, and we, you know, have the people in the Wilmington area have been awesome to us as well. Wilmington, Newark area. Just even like meeting with bankers, you know, there might be, a lot of them are like, yeah, we can't give you a loan because you have nothing right now. You haven't done any work yet. But they've offered so much advice, and you know, that's the great thing about this community here and why we chose to. You know, I'm from Ohio. Amadeo's from Pennsylvania. Sam's from New Jersey. So that's kind of the reason we decided to keep our ties here. Is because of just the great community and how much people are willing to help us out. So thank you very much.